Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard.
Mata into a trap pass. What about that? Ivanovic!
In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
Palmer, João Pedro, it's three, and Chelsea are running away with the FIFA Club World Cup final.
Hat-trick hero, Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
it's time for our 2026-2027 season predictions extravaganza! Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I am your host Mike. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with lions. I've got Ollie, I've got Chris. It is the Friday show on a Thursday and it's time, because we did name it, didn't we? Doing Delap things. And my word, before we do continue, I've got to make a statement. An apology. I wish I had I've got the PR briefing. It's not really the most appropriate thing to do for an apology. But I've got to apologise to you, Josh. You're listening. I unreservedly apologise for my comments regarding doing Delap things on the last episode. I got my facts wrong. There's no hiding from that. I've held my hands up. I've took full responsibility, and at the end of the day, credit where credit's due. You did come up with the name, and unfortunately, a moment of madness from me. It was just awful. It was a real defensive lapse. I've got no excuses. Josh, you saw the space, you made the run, and somehow I've given the assist to someone else. I gave your idea credit to someone else. Fair play, Josh. You've won. You brought it up. The record's been corrected. VAR check. Doing the lap things is officially a Josh Richmond original. Just want to make that very clear. Sorry, team. I've let you all down.
It was a good idea you came up with, Mike.
Yeah, I'm off. So naturally, my punishment for going forth is I am stepping down. I will be away now. So no one knows what the script is. So see you later. Oh, my word. Oh, hang on a minute. I've appealed to the president, who is apparently he's let me in. It's going to be a suspended suspension. I am allowed to carry on, but I can't do it again. Otherwise, it will be enacted. But as long as I've done this within the next 2 episodes, as long as I don't fuck up. So, what are you looking forward to this weekend? What are you doing? Let us know. You two, what are we doing?
Very much like Liam Delap.
Oh, you go to Ipswich? Is that where you go? Rumoured. Alleged.
Mate, I don't even think Ipswich will take it in a minute. I have seen that he's training away from the group though, so that's fun. That means he's not. I'm not actually going to have to watch him this year, which is a bonus. But yeah, this weekend, nothing really. Bit of football on Sunday. That's about it.
Ollie, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm the same old, because I'm still on holiday at the moment. And I know everyone's going to say you've been on holiday forever. That's true. That's exactly the point of this holiday. It's long.
You just live there now.
It kind of feels like that. I'm going snorkeling this weekend.
Wow.
Which will be good. Which will be good fun. I'm actually doing something with my time. I'm going to be, go see some interesting fish, go see some interesting aquatic fauna and flora. And yeah, just going to, other than that, chill by the pool, enjoy myself, do a bit of work. Other than that, yeah, not a lot.
I love that. Tomorrow night, I'll be heading out for a competitive session of bowling with my girlfriend, or as most of our listeners call it.
Smoked.
Well, most of our listeners call it humiliation
ritual.
Yeah, they call it that. Nice adventure on Saturday, and then I'll probably just chill on Sunday, amongst other Craig David things. Yeah, it just can be one of them. Just that's my weekend plan. Probably get 15 minutes on the drums, and just yeah. If anyone's keeping score, someone's going to suggest. You know what? No one's keeping score. I'm going games of the weekend. It's back. First up, 8 p.m. tomorrow. Arsenal, Coventry, Friday night football. First game of the new season. It's nowhere else you should be. We move to Saturday night. Oh, Saturday. I might nick that line from Anton Deck. 8:30. Head to Spain. Espanyol host Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid. Why is it a highlight? Because I want to see what this new look Jose Real looks like, to be honest. I have no idea. I don't know, and I like that. I like not knowing what I'm getting from my Jose teams. And Sunday, Chris, we're going to stay. We're going to stay in Spain. Atletico, 4 p.m, host the Villarreal, managed by the very exciting Inigo Perez, who's taken over the Yellow Submarine after leading Rayo Vallecano to that Europa Conference League final last season. Question is he ready to step up with a bigger team? All right. I think that's a nice little storyline to fetch. And some listeners are going to go, Mike, Sunday morning, deep early morning, 12:30 in the morning for you guys. Cincinnati are playing Seattle Sounders. Why haven't you suggested that game? Well, we've lost 8 in a row now, and I'm just fed up. I'm just fed the fuck up of that team.
That's bad, that.
8 in a row. I think if we lose the 9th against Cincinnati, it's a record. I just don't. I care as much about this team now as the players. They just don't give a fuck.
Good job they don't have relegation, isn't it?
I'd be fucked.
I was going to say, because otherwise you'd be the submarine, because you'd be going down.
mate, we have played 19 games. We have won 7, drawn 3, lost 9. So as you can tell, we were 7-3-1, and then just quit.
Wow.
It's just a joke. What's not a joke?
That's actually some loss of form, that. Because 7-3-1 isn't actually that bad.
No,
that's a pretty good record.
The Seattle Sounders were predicted to do quite well this year, and last night they lost obviously to Austin. It's just I just don't get it. I think some signings need to be made.
Arsenal and Coventry, though, that'll be a good Premier League opener. What I wouldn't give for Frank to come away with a win there. That'd be brilliant.
It'd be so funny, wouldn't it?
Be interesting. I'll be at a bowling alley, like when Paul Pogba scored on his debut for Man United. Was it Paul Pogba or someone scored on their debut for Man United? And it was that season, because I remember Pogba being in the 11. I'll Google it. Shevva shoutouts. We dive straight in. I've got Corey, who fully agrees with me on Enzo and the captaincy. It was an amateur move to give it to him after the nonsense that went down on social media. Since Clearlake took over, all we've seen are naive mistakes and decisions no other big club would make. Front of shirt sponsor being number 1, their choice of managers, coaches is number 2, and then we sign kids and expect profit or development from what? I hope it gets better, but I run my Pez team better. Yeah, basically for the 2, obviously, other hosts that weren't on the Monday show. Essentially, the Enzo Fernandez saga, my opinion on it was we shouldn't be in this situation anyway, because we shouldn't have given him the bloody captaincy in the first place after all of what went on last summer. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me on that.
No, I agree with you on that. I slightly disagree on the fact that perhaps other teams wouldn't find themselves in a similar position, because football players are notoriously stupid.
Oh, that's a fact.
They do notoriously stupid things. So I'd struggle to believe that somewhere along the line another team hasn't somehow found itself in that position by sheer luck of some, like a similar kind of way.
Well, you know what? You heard our Quaresma's questions last episode, where we did a beautiful top 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the Bridges top 5.
When it was chocolate bars. Well, Gale has dropped in with at the Gale's top 5 American in brackets. Milky Way. That I'm guessing if it's Milky Way in America, that's what we call Mars over here. So
no, we have Milky Ways in the UK, don't we?
Yeah, but they call the Mars bar Milky Way over in America.
Oh, that's really stupid.
Well, I'm not saying that, listeners. 4, Kinder Ball, which is the Choco Bonds. That's what we call them. I like those. 3rd, Reese's.
You just have universal names for chocolate. Why are we having different names in different countries?
Chris, wait until you hear about Australia.
Chocolate-covered spiders. Number 3, Reese's. Totally agree. Love Reese's. Love Reese's. Number 2, Reese's King Size. I mean, yeah. I fucking love peanut butter and chocolate. It's the best. And number 1, Twix.
Oh, that's a
Do
rare
like a good
number one.
Twix.
Well,
Ryan, it's a good choice. Nice biscuit, a bit of toffee in
I
there.
like a white
you know.
chocolate Twix better.
well, Ryan. Yeah, I like the
That's
white
controversial.
Snickers. Ryan has come in saying another great pod. His top 5 are Milky Bar, Aero, Ferrero Rocher. Hello. Oh,
Whoa.
whoa. You know,
Ferrero Rocher, all right, big
Someone
spender, my
loves
goodness.
Christmas.
dude, those are honestly. I remember someone telling me that. I basically bought some chocolate to say thank you to someone, and they went, I sneakily found out in my own way with a bit of typical scouting to find out, and they went, they like Ferrero Rocher, and I thought, that's all right, it's not too bad. And then when I got to the shop, I was absolutely knocked over at the price. They are very expensive chocolates. Just saying.
They
Why
are
did you get them at
insane.
Christmas?
Well, and then it gets even more expensive because they've got Lindt at number 2,
Ooh.
and they
My
finish
goodness,
with
this is
Kinder.
the bougiest chocolate selection I've ever
Ryan
heard.
likes his chocolate to be premium quality, and I am disappointed, Ryan. Where is Hotel Chocolat stuff? That is a great store. Love
where's
going in
green
there.
and black?
My wallet
Whereas,
doesn't.
where all the really fancy stuff. Come on, you got to
Yes.
step your game up, man.
Wow. Thank you, though. Thank you for your reviews, your top 5s, everything you put in those comments. We do appreciate them. And look, they make a big part of the show. So if you want yours potentially read out in the next one, head over there, drop a message in our comments. So with that, let's just go straight into the news. Time of the week. Check out the news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Axel Disasi is close to leaving Chelsea. Manchester City consider Enzo Fernandez a priority target and will attempt to do a deal, but have no intention of paying the 120 million and do not want to go any higher. Emmanuel Omega will be part of the Chelsea squad this coming season. Alfie Osborne, no relation to Norman, has joined Chelsea from Hearts. Reggie Walsh has joined Wigan on loan. Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson are part of a group of Chelsea players who are training separately from Xabi Alonso's first team. Chelsea have decided to put Mamadou Sarr on the market. He's available for sale. Benfica have approached Tosin's team and Chelsea. João Pedro is our new number 9. And finally, from the start of the 26-27 season, Chelsea's under-21s and under-19 squads will be known as Cobham Next Gen, in brackets CNG, under head coach Harry Hudson. Now, I had to bring this up because this rebranding has caused a big reaction on social media, and rightly so. For me, I thought I let it sit and digest, and I thought, when I take a look back at this name change, I find it to be another brain-dead idea from the Clear Lake Circus featuring Corporal Clown and Captain Cock. I really do, because it just adds more fuel to my conspiracy theory. I've spoke about it before, so grab your tinfoil hats, because I pose this to you guys, actually, and listening. Does this move have any relation to the fact that the Chelsea pitch owners own the name Chelsea? They own the badge of Chelsea. Because I do wonder if rebranding the Chelsea, keyword, under-21s and Chelsea under-19s to a different name is the ownership essentially just testing those little waters about that potential name change. Because if we move away from the bridge and the club do not get permission from the CPO, they don't have the name. They don't have the badge. And we certainly are seeing more branding of the Lion badge, aren't we? And we know from the shirt leaks for next season that we will be using the Lion for a second successive season. What do you think? What do you feel about Corporal Clown and Captain Cock making another great decision?
I literally do not care. If I can be completely honest, we do not care. I think this is one of those things that people are making a bit of a fuss out of nothing. If I had to guess, they're probably just trying to package it commercially. And it's easier to package all the academy together as something like that than it is something like, like the Chelsea under-21s or Cobham under-18s or whatever. Until I see some proof in the pudding about your conspiracy theory, Mikey, I'm afraid I'm just not on board. I find the narratives a bit boring. I think people are looking for the negative aspect in this one.
The reason that I'm dubious is someone did point out Juventus have done the same thing. They have. They're called Juventus Next Gen, though. Why couldn't you call it Chelsea Next Gen? We're the only team there's only one team in the under 21, well, the Premier League 2, what's called, that isn't called the team name and then under 21s, and that's Bournemouth, who's called AFC Bournemouth Academy. And again, team name, we'd be the only team with not our club name in it. It don't look good.
But Mikey, let me put it to you. If you're a parent, right, and your son or your daughter are in their academy football, and they get approached to join Cobham Next Gen or Chelsea, right? Obviously the same thing, but if you get one or the other, one of those things is linked with elite academy development at every level, all the way up to players reaching senior level and then reaching, going off and having a very respectable career in football. The other is Chelsea, who are not exactly known for developing their youth positively, let's say, right? So in my head, calling something Cobham is a better association for the youth than Chelsea.
I will bring Chris in. I see your point. However, I will argue that Cobham isn't owned by the CPO. Cobham isn't Chelsea Football Club. Cobham is a training ground. Chris, what do you think?
I'm not completely on board with your conspiracy theory, but I'm stood on the platform.
I'll take it. The train's always in the station.
I do feel like there is a lot of nudging towards dropping the Chelsea name. I think the real prominent dropping of the badge on a lot of things and just using the lion icon instead, the subtle name changes to things, even on like things like social media posts now, it's rare that they use the name Chelsea. They keep using that CFC LDN thing. So I think there is a lot of subtlety to it, but I don't know. It could be a storm in a teacup, but I don't like it because I do think it just feels like they are feeling it out and seeing if they get a massive reaction from the fan base before they do something drastic. It feels like a lot of this stuff is sort of being done secretly, hoping that nobody notices in a way. Like we had the whole subtle changes to the badge that they didn't say to anyone, didn't tell anyone, didn't announce anything, just did it and then went, let's just see what people say. And then it kind of feels the same. Like having the getting rid of the badge on a lot of the kits now, I think I know it's not unheard of. Liverpool have done it. Man United do it a lot. Arsenal have done it. But they haven't done it in the same way. And I think it's the way that we're doing it, I think, makes people feel uneasy. Whether it's something yet, I'm not sure.
People uneasy, Chris.
Yeah, do you know what? It probably just boils down to the fact that we as a fan base, we don't trust our owners. So we're seeing the negative and the sort of negative connotations in everything that they do, and it feels like they're sort of sticking it to the fans, where rather than working for us, they're working against us. I think that's the general feeling at the moment, and I think that doesn't help. Whereas I don't think you necessarily get that at Liverpool. You don't get it at Arsenal, so they drop the badge and they put just a cannon on the shirt, and no one really says anything. But we feel a little bit different. I don't think our owners have built up that level of trust that we will just sweep this stuff under the carpet, because basically we don't trust them.
Yeah, I had.
No, and that's fair enough. And they've got no goodwill in the bank really to be able to.
No, they're in debt. They're in a lot of debt with us, and also apparently financially, Chelsea are also in a lot of debt. I hear.
But
Yeah.
my point is I think especially on Mikey's conspiracy theory, which obviously a lot of conspiracy theories turn out to not be conspiracy theories. Of course, they can be true. Let's not discount them for no reason. But personally, I need to see a bit more evidence.
I did have Ahmed. He contacted us on Instagram and asked me if I had noticed, obviously, something else. And it was the new update for the official Chelsea app. I didn't notice this because I don't have the app.
Yes, I did. It's just the
badge,
lion now.
The badge has been replaced with the new lion logo. And now Ahmed themselves said that they are starting to think the conspiracy theory might hold some weight. I tell you what, yeah, I keep saying it. I need to drop the Chris Hansen meme. You see how this looks? Yeah, you do. You see how this looks? Clear Lake.
I genuinely think for now, just let everything go. But I think an alarm bell sounds because the first thing they'll do is they'll drop the crest completely and they'll sell it as it's an updated, modern, more sleek design. And they'll just have the lion. Bit like Juventus did when they just had that awful J that they've got now.
Oh, it's shit.
Me, that would be the jumping the shark. If that happens, I'm fully on the train. Okay, just make it clear.
All I'm saying,
you see how this looks, right?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Well, I was just literally about to go and start to do a winners and losers, and just we didn't play. I don't know why I'm doing that. So hang on, let me rewind. Because let's build some tension. Because it is time for our pre-season predictions extravaganza! Doesn't end. Keep going. Yes.
Do you know what? If you close your eyes while you was playing that, and you are of a certain age, you was transported back into your lounge on a Sunday evening.
What, for some surprise?
When some ITV game show was on.
Oh, wow.
That's far too elaborate for what this is.
Do you know what? How dare you? How dare you? This is a special one. It's the 8th time we've attempted to look into the crystal ball and predict what's going to happen over the next 9 months of the Premier League season. 8 years of prediction, 8 years of confidence, and there's no evidence that we've become any better at this. 8 years
of getting everything wrong.
No, there's no evidence that we're better at this. So I'm so excited this year.
Or something.
Yeah, it's very much. Look, I want to be clear. The wheel is back. I'm scared for what the wheel has predicted because it's. Anyway, for those wondering, how did the wheel do the predictions? I essentially put the bookies' top 10 favourites for the title, the top 6 for relegation, each into the wheel, and then it picked that way. For everything else, I just dumped appropriate names into them. I've got to say, though, this year, the wheel has made some unhinged predictions that are worth sticking around to hear. And if you wonder,
I still bet the wheel gets more predictions right than we do.
I'm scared if that happens. Because so if you wondered, what about how did you do surprise team and disappointing team? I threw all the teams in the wheel, all 20. So it's a big one. It's big. So we kick off with the biggest award, the Premier League winner. Do you know how difficult it was to not put Chelsea here? Of course, after last season, I was tempted to do a repeat. I'm not stupid because I'll tell you who will repeat though. Arsenal. I love Bruno. I think that's a signing in that midfield. And they've now got it over the line. And I feel that mentality changes you as a player in a squad. And also, they're the only team that are consistent. The realistic title challengers have all got new managers. They've all got uncertainty. They've all got question marks. The only question mark I have on Arsenal, realistically, is do they have a striker? Gyökeres is a good player, but I guess he's got the Nicholas Jackson. I guess he's got the Nicholas Jackson curse because he scored a fair few goals last season, but no one rates him. Havertz is there, so I just don't see any. There's no one there to challenge them. There just isn't. I just don't see it. I don't know what you guys have got.
Yeah, I've gone with the same. I've gone with Arsenal, and it's much for the same reason as you, Mikey. I think it's a lack of challenges. I think Liverpool probably won't be ready. I think Man City are in a transition season. Although I think they'll be all right, I actually think they'll be worse the following season. So, the season after this one coming, I think that's when things will really start to shift for them. I don't think we're ready yet. Man United, I don't think they can mount a title challenge yet. So, really, barring Arsenal really making some mistakes, I think it's their title to lose already.
Chris?
I also have Arsenal, and for similar reasons. I think Arsenal will win the league again. I think Arsenal will win the league comfortably, by a number of points, like well over 10 points. I think they'll win the league by. I don't think there'll be a title race going into April. I think it'll be over early April, and realistically before then, just not mathematically, because they're the most settled team. They've still got the same manager. They've improved the squad. They've got the best squad, probably player for player in terms of depth in the league. I don't think Arsenal will be great, but I just don't. I don't think there's a great team in the Premier League at the moment.
I agree with that.
Very fair.
And I think the thing that I think is the most telling for what they've been doing is there's been a lot of talk around Arsenal this summer of, are they going to sell players like Miles Lewis-Skelly? Are they going to sell Ethan Nwaneri? That they're not looking to bank on these younger players who, very talented are coming through, but they're not in their prime to mount a sustained multiple-year dynasty-level title challenge. Bringing in players like Bruno Guimaraes really does that. For me, they're consolidating their position when everyone else is kind of in a transition. They're using that as a good sort of springboard to get better while everyone else is kind of standing still. Because if they do it and they do it right, they could win the next few titles.
Wow.
Realistically.
Well, the wheel has actually agreed with us. Arsenal. It had 6 choices to make, and it chose Arsenal. So congratulations to the wheel. We've all gone sensible. The rest of the top 6. Now, I had a late change before this because I've changed 2 and 3 around.
Substitution.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a lunatic because I've got Chelsea in second. They were third.
You're a lunatic.
I picked them to win the Champions League last year.
That's why you're a lunatic.
Third, I'm not confident with this because they're like a box of frogs. I don't know what I'm getting out of this. I've got Liverpool. I have no idea what I'm going to get. I don't know. Fourth, I've gone Man United, and I'm not sure on that. Fifth, I've gone City, and sixth, I've gone Villa. And Villa, Chris, you're rightly so in the group chat. I'll leave a pry into the world of us when we're not on air. When you mentioned about their spine being ripped out like Doctor Doom did to Thanos. And I do think you are right. And I'm scared. I'm only confident about none of it. Not confident in any of my top 6.
I think this has been the hardest top 6 to pick ever.
It's ludicrous.
In the history of us doing this, I think this has been the hardest year to predict the top 6.
Yeah.
Because realistically, I look at all the teams that I've wrote down here and think, it could finish second, could finish 10th.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. I think the Premier League is getting more and more competitive, which is a funny thing that we've all just committed to having the same people who won it last year winning it this year. But for everyone else, I think the Premier League is so much more competitive now with the teams that are getting into Europe and and challenging. It's more like. It seems at any point you could finish 4, 5, 6 places up or down from where you used to be able to.
Yeah. So, Chris, who have you got in your top 6?
I've got Liverpool in second. They'll be a distant second to Arsenal, so they won't mount a title challenge. But I just look at Liverpool and I think they still have the foundations there to have a good season. You look at how bad they was last year, they still got in the top 4. So
Yeah.
it's, I look at it and I think they've still got Alisson, they've still got Van Dijk, like they've still got those players who can drag them through, and I think they've got some of the best attacking players still.
35-year-old Van Dijk, though.
Yeah, but he might just have that one more,
He's Vince
like
Carter season.
John Terry, like 2016 type season. You know what I mean? Then I've got us third.
What a man.
I've got Haaland Man City fourth.
Oh, Chris. Easy mistake.
Man United fifth.
Oh.
And Spurs sixth.
Wow. Ollie, what have you got?
Chris, yours and mine are actually remarkably similar. So obviously I've got Arsenal to win it. I've also got Liverpool in second. I think I think the biggest problem with Liverpool last season was probably it was a mix of a few things. They were transition season after Klopp having gone. I know they had Slot the year before that, but they were playing a different style of play to the way that they usually have been playing for God knows how long now. They've reverted back to type with Iraola, in my view. I think I really rate Iraola. I think he's a really good manager. I think playing vertically, he's going to be able to get the best out of that Liverpool team. I don't know if they're going to have the fitness to be able to hold on to doing it that way all season, which is why I don't think they can mount a title challenge. I'm with Chris. I think Arsenal will win it by a decent distance, I think. But I do think Liverpool are they're in less of a transition than a lot of other teams, because they're already going to be playing in a way that a lot of the teams know how to. A lot of the players know how to play. They've got players like Isak and Wirtz who, despite having really poor seasons last season, will be much more comfortable, much more ready to go again this coming season. And in my opinion, their quality is waiting to shine through in a big way. They're not as far behind it as people think, in my opinion. Third, I've got Man City. I don't think this season is going to be their problem. I think it's going to be next season. I think they'll be able to hold on to some of that Pep muscle memory and, hold on to the standards. Some of the obviously a lot of the players who were under Pep, a lot of them have left already. I know they're kind of gutting the squad and going again. But that kind of institutional knowledge, the standards, the effort, that all is going to remain, and that plus Haaland's goal scoring, I think that's going to get them over the line. So I think they'll finish comfortably third. Next season, though, season after that, I think they're going to fall off a cliff. I've got Chelsea fourth. I do back us to get fourth. I've put us this season. I think our ceiling is third, and I wouldn't be surprised if we finish fifth. So fourth sounded about right. I think 1 game a week, Champions League spots, comfortably fourth would be what my barometer of a decent season in Xabi's first season. I've got Man United fifth, like Chris. I think a lot of people are backing them to do well, but they're in a lot of competitions this season, and they were a lot. It's always the same with Man United. The more, like post Fergie, the more competitions they're in, the worse they are. So I think they'll, they finished quite comfortably last season, like doing really well under Carrick. But it's going to be a real test playing 3 games a week for them this season. I think they'll struggle with that. And I've also gone with Spurs in 6th. I think their chance to be relegated is long gone. They've had a big rebuild, a big resurgence. I don't think it's a perfect rebuild, but they've spent a lot of money and a lot of it's gone in the right places. They've rebuilt the midfield. They've added a lot of quality to their team, and I think they've added enough that they're going to be able to sort of change and shift the culture of the last few years, and then mount a surge up the table.
The reason I didn't pick Spurs is because I feel they've bought too many players for straight away. This isn't FIFA. You can't put all these players and then it's going to work. I think it's going to take time. And plus Spurs are ludicrous. They could sink us. I have no idea what they're going to do. I'll tell you what the wheel thinks they're going to do. They're going to come second. The wheel went Spurs second,
Oh,
Man
God.
City third, Villa fourth, Chelsea fifth, and sixth Brentford. I find that absolutely
Wow.
terrifying.
That would be incredible. Brentford, I actually don't hate the Brentford shout
No,
because
I was going to say that's the most
they've only
realistic
got
one, there, I
one.
think.
They've got one game a week as well, haven't they? And they are a well-oiled machine, Brentford. I would not be surprised to see them do well this season and finish in a European place.
My relegated teams. I'm going to go in order from bottom to 18th. 20th, I got Hull City. Yeah. I think Hull. It'll be the worst performance from Hull since the Titanic. You know,
I don't know why they're bothering to turn up. To be honest,
no, just give up. Just quit. 19th, I got Ipswich Town. Gary O'Neill. If he was called Gary O'Neilio, he'd probably, be able to get him out the bottom three. I don't see it. And third from bottom, a late substitution again. I had Forest here, and then I did think Glasner could go one of two ways.
That would have been mental, by the way.
Well,
yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know how I feel on them because Marinakas and all seems to allegedly falls out with people. Got to be careful because if people watch,
he might fall out with you, and then you.
Well,
might
yeah,
fall out.
there was a video that HITC sevens. If people, I'm sure people have watched and listened to Alfie's stuff. That video got quickly taken down, and we've never heard why. So yeah, but instead, Forest got subbed out, and I've put Newcastle in. I think they're going to absolutely.
Do you know what? I don't hate it.
I think they'll fall apart because
I don't either. I toyed with it myself. I didn't go for it. I wasn't brave enough. But
just think about what they've lost, because they've lost so much. They've lost Bruno. They've lost Sandro Tonali. They've lost Anthony Gordon. They've lost their manager. And who have they brought in?
Their squad shit, and they've got a shit manager. So
I'm looking at their
it all
players.
Points to relegation, doesn't it?
Yeah, Chris, I'm looking at the players they've brought in, and I'm like, I don't know any of these names. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't know. Their manager is Matthias Eisler, and I'm like, he did the Liam Rosenio thing, didn't he? He went around and shook everyone's hand, and I thought, oh, you've doomed it.
You know what? It's when I saw that, I went, they're in trouble then.
Did you not watch anything from last season and think, this isn't, just wave. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Matthias Eisler. Hello. And sit down. Yeah. Don't shake hands. Don't do that, mate. You've spoiled it. So, yeah, I think Newcastle are going to sink like a stone. Well, they're not going to sink like a stone. They're going to bob a bit.
I do wonder if the former Chelsea manager could one day manage AC Milan, but only because Rosinha is an anagram of Rossinieri.
Oh, there we go. Job done. They're going to be in there. Who are your bottom three, Chris?
Hull, bottom, probably worst points total in Premier League history. I honestly don't know how they're even in the Premier League. They're coming into the Premier League with Ollie McBurney up front. I don't know what we're doing. He won't score a goal.
Against us, he might.
19th, I got Ipswich. Same reason. Their squad wasn't good enough when it went down last time. They haven't improved it. So why would it stay up this time? And then 18th, I've got Fulham.
Ooh, that's interesting. You reckon Arbeloa is gonna fall like a stone, do you?
I don't understand that appointment at all. He's got no managerial experience except for 6 months at Real Madrid, where he's working with some of the best players in the world, and he didn't do a great job there. You're bringing him in then in an environment he's never been involved in. He was at Real Madrid for most of his career. Again, surrounded by world-class footballers. Then he's coached world-class footballers, and now he's at Fulham. That's not the same environment that he's used to at all. I don't see. He's also, the signings you look at, he's brought in a load of people from Real Madrid who realistically shouldn't have been at Real Madrid. So, yeah, it looks like, he's bringing in players from Real Madrid. Yeah, yes, load of people Real Madrid don't want. So, I just don't see how that translates. I don't think their squad's great. They've lost Harry Wilson, who was massive for them last year as it was. I don't see how that appointment goes well unless Arbeloa is like, some sort of messiah that we all just didn't see coming.
Wow. What have you got, Ollie?
Mine's a bit boring, to be honest with you, mate. I was really trying to figure out how to do this realistically. I got Ipswich dead last because
different.
Because not only have they lost their squad not good enough, they've also lost their manager, who was like the only good thing about the club. You know, like, and you've brought in Gary O'Neill, who is a Premier League boss in name only.
Yeah.
Really, you know, like
Great on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but as a coach, he's just not good enough, in my opinion, and I think he'll show that this season. 19th, I've got Hull, but no surprises there. They're straight up and straight down. And 18th, I was really struggling with the last position because I wasn't sure who to put in there. I thought about putting Leeds in there, but they've bought pretty well. I think they'll be all right. I thought about putting Everton in there. You know, thinking maybe they'd finally sink, but I don't think they'll go. You know, I thought about Forest, I thought about this, I thought about that, but in the end, I can't see past Coventry going down. I don't think their squad's good enough. Even with Frank at the wheel, I just can't see them staying up. You know, I know they brought in the likes of Awonyi. For me, it's not enough. I don't think they're gonna manage it, unfortunately.
Wow, interesting. Oh, the wheel. This is off. This is unhinged. Bottom, Bournemouth. New manager.
What? Good.
Second from bottom, Everton. Third from bottom. All three promoted teams will stay up because Crystal Palace are the third team. And you look at that three and go, that's ludicrous. And then you look at it and go, you could see all three going down.
You know what's really stupid though? Honestly, all three of those teams could get relegated if the teams coming up from the Championship wasn't so dreadfully shit.
You're right.
If the gap now between the Championship and the Premier League wasn't so big, all of those teams could realistically go down. They won't because the teams coming up from the Championship now simply aren't good enough.
Wow.
I think all three of those teams are capable of having a relegation-worthy collapse. I think Bournemouth may be the least likely of the three, but Palace certainly. If they have a sustained European push, they might really struggle in domestically. I mean, they did that in the Conference League last season. I think if anything, they're more likely in the Europa League to be dumped out a little early, and maybe that might save them.
Wow.
But they finished 15th. What wasn't it, 15th? And when they won the Conference League, so it's like they don't have the resources to fight on all fronts. They just don't.
Promoted teams. Now we never really know because it's a crazy lottery. I've gone Middlesbrough, Millwall, Wrexham. It's a wild season, it always is, but I think it's going to Middlesbrough, Millwall, Wrexham.
No, I heard you. I'm just surprised.
Yeah. So I am also shocked at that, to be honest.
The playoffs is now the top 8 because the extension of the format.
You don't think any of the relegated teams are going to come back up?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow.
Look, I have a special interest in Wolves. I want them to come up. I do. But I watched them play the other night. They weren't.
Wolves are shit.
They did not make me go.
Mikey, I would love Wolves to come back up. Unfortunately, I've watched them play.
That is so right. I love their home kit. I think it's gorgeous, and I'm tempted to get one because I do go to some of their games. But I don't see that. I want them to get promoted, but they were a penalty to get a point. West Ham, I'd never know what you get because I'm like, West Ham are probably arguably the best team of the three to get promoted. Middlesbrough did well last year, and I think they could go again. Millwall, I think the same, and Wrexham purely because top 8. If Hull can do it after last season, no one expected that. No one. That's why I've gone Wrexham. I was like, why not? Throw a dice. It's just a bit of fun. Chris, what have you got?
I've got West Ham. I think their squad is not good enough for the Premier League, but too good for the Championship. They're in that yo-yo period now where they'll come up and down. Next to them, following them, Burnley, doing the same, up and down.
Okay.
They need a league in between.
Fucking hell.
And then I've got Millwall because I think they flirted with it for a couple of years now, and it could be the year that they actually get it over the line.
Ollie, what have you got?
So I've gone West Ham as well. I think they're going to win the championship. I think they'll make a bit of a meal of it, but that is not a championship squad. That is a Premier League squad, in my opinion. It's not a good one, but it is a Premier League squad. Yeah.
Okay.
They finished they're on. I think they finished on 39 points and got relegated.
Yeah, yeah, they did.
One of the highest that would,
they were bang on the edge of being safe mathematically,
and
in terms of what
Bowen,
people say.
Which is
they
massive.
did.
Yeah, they kept Bowen. I think they should come back up pretty easily. Southampton is my second one. I reckon that might be a little bit controversial. I know, because they're starting on minus points because of the whole Spygate thing. But lest we forget, they were probably going to come up if it wasn't for that anyway. I wonder if that'll give them a bit of a boot up the arse, if you know what I mean. That they're saying we're 4 points down before the season's even begun. I think it's 4, and they've got to, everyone's got to put a shift in and every week and sort of drag them back into the title race of it. So I reckon they'll come up. And I've gone Borough because after them, after West Ham and Southampton, I'm really not sure who else would even be likely to come up via the playoffs, to be honest with you. In terms of like the nearly teams, you've got like Norwich, Wrexham, Borough, Millwall. Like these are all teams that are sort of there-ish, but none of them, in my opinion, are actually good enough to come up to the Premier League. So I've just gone with the one that I think is most likely, and that's Borough.
Wow. The wheel has gone Southampton, Sheffield United, and Middlesbrough. Now, I'm going to say that the wheel, bless it, didn't know that they could face a points deduction, Sheffield United, because of this. Well, it's just mad. They genuinely could face a 12-point deduction because the company that was used to buy the club was placed into liquidation by the High Court on Wednesday. There's a lot of legal paperwork to go with that. So, yeah.
Also think Sheffield United are shit as well, which doesn't help.
True. Well, I didn't say that. Will did. Surprise team of the season. I think this is a tough one because there's a lot of surprises aren't surprises. B teams, Brighton, Brentford and Bournemouth all had good seasons last time around. So at first, I've contradicted. I can't remember. I think it was Chris. Chris had said it about Fulham. And I had Fulham under Alvaro Arbeloa to be a surprise. And then I thought, well, they finished 11th. So a surprise would be a top 10 or a top 8 finish. And then I thought, I don't think they can do that. Instead, because they finished 14th last season and had a good pre-season, I'm going to go Leeds United. They've got a proper goalkeeper in goal now in James Trafford. They didn't before. Whether you rate Trafford or not, this is a better keeper. They've got Tanaka.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know Tanaka very well. They've got Harry Wilson, who just scores goals for fun. Ridiculously goal of the month with contenders. They got Noah and Okafor. I think they'll surprise everyone by not being in a relegation battle at any point this season. I think they could shock everyone and be top 10. I think if it goes all well, when he worked out that this team works well in this way, it just clicked. Leeds United.
I'm not going to comment on that.
That's okay.
I don't hate that shout, to be honest with you, because I think Leeds have bought well. There's that one centre back they bought as well, who's Bosnian. Can't remember his name.
Don't make me say that name. Don't make me say that name.
Go on, Mikey, say it. No, I'm joking.
I'm going to Google who he is first. Who is he?
But he seems to be pretty highly rated. Trafford is obviously a good goalie.
Tarik Mehimovic.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah,
him. I just think they'll do enough that they'll be all right. I think.
Chris, what? Sorry, Chris. Who's your team?
I've got Coventry.
Oh, that's nice.
I think. Well, if Coventry survived, it would be a surprise. But I think they're going to finish 13th, 14th.
Wow, that would be a big shock.
Fucking hell. Richard Keys is dancing on the streets right now.
Again, I think they are one of those teams from the Championship where they very nearly got up and was almost Premier League ready for 3 years before they actually did it. And I think that makes them more prepared to stay up.
It's a good
than
shout.
someone like
Good
Hull,
reasoning.
who wasn't ready.
No.
You look at other teams that have been like that. Brentford was like that. Brighton was like that. They nearly got up, didn't. Nearly got up, didn't. Nearly got up, didn't. Then when they did, they was actually ready for the Premier League. And then they've gone on and stayed up and been really successful. I think Coventry could be another one. I think the feeling around that club at the moment is so positive that I think that carries them through early in the season to rack up enough points to stay away from the relegation zone.
I think that's an interesting way to look at it. I like that. I've gone with Forest.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I was just I don't know, I was trying to like do this properly, right? So I was looking over like the squads and stuff ahead of the season, owner notwithstanding, right? With Forest, you never know what you're going to get in a season in a way, because you don't know if the owner's going to flip his lid and sack 4 managers in a row. But I was just looking at at the squad. Goalies look okay. They've got Murillo at the back, who's a good player. They've just bought Usman Diamande, who's highly rated centre back. Milenkovic is very good. I think a lot of people rate him. Nico Williams is decent at left back. Oleana is good at right back. Sangare is decent in the middle. Schlager's decent in the middle. Morgan Gibbs-White, everyone knows is good. James McAtee, who they've added in now, is a good player who's come out through City's Academy, I think. They got Ndoye on the right, who's good. Hudson-Odoi can always do something. Hutchinson can do something. Bakwa was good for Strasbourg. And then, of course, up top, they've got Jesus and Wood, who are 2 reliable goal scorers, in my view. So I'm looking at their squad, and I'm like, I don't see a weak link, really, in their team, other than their depth, I guess. But then you add on top of that they've got Oliver Glasner now in the dugout. Is a very good coach. Obviously won something with Palace of all teams. So I don't know. If you ask me, I think they could be pushing for a, dare I say, a European place. I think that would be quite a surprise this season for them, because they've they had that big season where they went up and got into Europe and no one expected it under Nuno, and then they sort of fell apart after that, and they've kind of been in the middle, not really doing anything since. I reckon this is listen, they'll either do something really interesting this season. Well, no, they'll do something interesting this season regardless. But it's whether it's interesting good or interesting bad, and I'm betting it's interesting good.
The wheel said Fulham to be the surprise team. So,
what do you think, Chris?
No chance.
Surprisingly shit, maybe.
Disappointing team of the season. I have gone Manchester City, because for me, Manchester City, when you have Erling Haaland, and after finishing in the top 2 for 8 of the last 9 seasons, anything less than that is disappointing. And I don't back the former head coach to do well at all. That's not biased. I haven't got anything, underlined there. No, it's no agenda. I just don't think the former head coach will do well. And plus, I have eyes and watch the Community Shield, and their midfield got cut apart. But hey, let's bring in Enzo Fernandez to replace Rodri, because that's Enzo's best. He plays like him. Yeah. If I tell you what, if City offer us 150 million, I want Enzo to stay now. I do. But if they are stupid to offer 150 million and go, you can be the new Rodri, oh yeah, please, because that would be hilarious to watch. Yeah, hilarious.
They're very similar players. They're both midfielders. They both speak Spanish, and that's it.
Well, exactly. Chris, who have you got?
So my disappointing team is Leeds United. And, you two have kind of proved why I've got them as a disappointing team. I think the
overrated because of their summer work.
Yeah, their expectation levels now are sky high. Leeds United fans now expect them to be in the top 10. And I think if they're not, that'll be a disappointing season. I still don't overly rate Daniel Farke as a coach. I think, again, they've had a window that looks good on paper, but loads of teams have done that before. And then everyone goes, oh, that'll be good. Look at who they've signed. And then they're absolutely awful. So I just think they stayed up last year, and that was fine, because that's what you have to do first year coming up. But now they've made some okay signings, not world-beating signings, just some okay signings. But now I think the expectation around the club will be somewhere between 8th and 10th. And I don't think they're good enough for that. And I think that's where it'll turn toxic when they lose 3 or 4 games in a row and end up 14th, which is still a decent season for Leeds. That won't be acceptable anymore. That's the boos will start going around Ellen Road when they lose at home to Ipswich. And then Farker will get sacked. They'll bring someone else in. I just think it could all fall apart for Leeds because their expectation levels are way beyond where their squad actually is.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you said people are. I'm surprised that you said that people are expecting them to finish 8th or 10th. You know, I thought a successful season for them again would be staying up again. You know,
it should be.
Like you say, sort of mid-table, anywhere between sort of, I don't know, 12th and 16th. You know, you'd be happy with that, you'd have thought. I wonder if the fact that they're, you know, whether people like it or not, Leeds are a big club. And I wonder if that reputation is almost going to do them more harm than good this season.
Who have you got, Ollie?
Newcastle. My God.
Again, so true.
You know, like, I'm very concerned for Newcastle. I don't think they'll go down, but I think a lot of people are obviously looking at the writing on the wall and just making obvious conclusions. They've lost all of their best players, all of them, and they've lost their coach, who has done basically is the only person who's brought their team any sort of even modicum of success, right, in the modern era. And they've replaced him. They've replaced the players with not great alternatives. You know, and they've replaced the manager with a manager from the Saudi league. So, you know, you're just looking at that, and like they've downgraded in every possible position, they can, and so a lot of people are saying, you know, that they think they'll struggle this season, but I don't think people are prepared for just how much they're going to struggle. I don't think they'll go down, but I could see them finishing 16th easily.
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny because the only reason why I didn't have Villa as my disappointing team is because I rate Emery so much, and I think he can drag them through. But Villa, the same as Newcastle, I wouldn't be overly shocked if Villa finished 15th because you can't lose that many good players. Exactly the same as Newcastle. You can't lose all your good players in one window and then replace them with who they are. I mean, to be fair, if Villa replace Ezri Konsa with Tosin, I think they could get relegated.
I might join you there. Can I scare you? Where do you think the wheel's gone?
With us, probably.
Yeah, Chelsea. Chelsea. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
When it popped up, out 20 teams, it chose us, and I just didn't like it.
I actually don't hate the shout either. Is the worst part, because I think you've got a lot of people who are expecting us to do big things this season under Xabi. They're saying, look at the money spent, look at Xabi Alonso. You know, look at the glitz and glimmer of a London football club, and we're not there yet.
No, I don't like it.
You know what's funny? This sounds so stupid as a Chelsea fan, but bear with me. I think the worst thing Xabi Alonso could do would be to start really, really well.
Oh no!
And I'm talking like 9 wins out of the first 10 games.
Oh, what?
Because I don't think we're good enough to sustain the title challenge that we would be in at that point.
Yeah.
And then I think everything after that becomes such a major disappointment that even if we was to finish 3rd, everyone would go, "Oh, we was in the title race in November. 3rd shit." When realistically, no, that's right. That's exactly where we should be.
The worst thing would be if Xabi introduces us to a vibe that we cannot maintain.
Yeah.
Well, top scorer. We exclude Erling Haaland because that would be boring. I went João Pedro. I think the number 9 curse does not exist for João. I was going to do it and I couldn't do it as soon as I seen him that they've given him that shirt. Nah, I don't.
I was tempted to, but yeah, the number 9 shirt did change my mind.
I think when South American players put that shirt on, something special happens. Hernan Crespo.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything. I won't answer.
If João Pedro falls off a cliff this season, and scores like 5 goals, do we retire the number 9 shirt?
We have to, don't we?
I think we should. I genuinely think we should.
Honestly, I think you seal it in a concrete box, set the concrete box on fire, then drop a nuke on it.
Can I just say, these are our last number 9s. I'm just going to go through. So obviously we know João Pedro. Liam Delap, Aubameyang, Lukaku, Tammy Abraham, Higuain, Morata, Falcao, Torres, DeSanto, Sidwell, Boularus, Crespo, Kesman, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. So that's all right. And then Chris Sutton, shit. But Viali, class. Mark Stein, class.
Yeah, but like you've got to go back so far for it to even be like 5 out of 15.
In 1977 and 1978, 78, 79, Peter Osgood, class. We're fine. Roy Bentley, class. We're fine.
Do you know what? That says it all. You got to go back to what you. If you go back to the 70s, you can probably count the good amount of number 9s Chelsea have had on one hand.
I've just mentioned strikers. For some reason, in 1978-79, Ron Harris wore the 9 shirt. A defender wore the 9 shirt.
Yeah, like when we gave it to Boularus, mate.
Yeah. Why did we do that? Oh, who have you got, Chris?
I've got Alexander Isak.
You're not alone. The wheel did the same.
I think what's going to help him this year is I think everyone's forgot actually how good he was at Newcastle because he had that big money move to Liverpool, spent most of the season injured, wasn't that good when he played. So everyone now is just gone, shit. But actually, I don't think he's become a shit player over one season. I think he was unlucky with the injury last year. And I think if he comes back and if he's even 70% of the player he was at Newcastle, he'll do really well at Liverpool. And I think under Iraola, it's a similar style to Eddie Howe, which got the best out of him.
Okay. What have you got on your board, Ollie?
Me and Chris are in sync. I've got exactly the same Isak, and for the exact same reason. I think people have written him off now because he's a big money move that didn't immediately perform. Yeah. But he'll be fine this season, especially playing under Iraola, playing in a more vertical style. As long as he stays fit, I think his quality will shine through, and I could see 20 goals easily.
Yeah. The wheel agrees. The wheel's gone Isak. Best new signing. You get 2 choices. I've played around.
This was hard.
Yes, because I have Marco Palestra. I've locked him in. He was always going to be there.
Nice.
And then I just flip-flopped between a former villain and a current villain. And I still don't know where I'm going. I had Yuri Tillemans because I think he's extremely underrated. And United have got a bargain for 35 million. And then Villa went, hey, Zion Suzuki. He's a reliable motor and a top keeper. I just like Suzuki. I really rated him in Serie A, and I thought him at PSG would be perfect. I really like Suzuki. Tillemans is the safe pick, but I'm not going to go safe. I'll go Suzuki. I really like Suzuki. I do. I like Suzuki.
Yes.
Mikey, I'm gonna have to jump in here because those 2 are my exact same choices. I've got
really?
Wow. Suzuki as well. Yeah, I really rate Suzuki. I think he's brilliant, and Palestra. He's he's impressed me to the extent that I can't see anyone else getting it. There were other players that I thought maybe could be in there. I thought that Ruggieri, the left back, gone from Atletico to Villa, but realistically, is he going to win signing of the season? Not really. Solis looks interesting. Guimaraes looks interesting, but I don't think these players are going to make as a transformative an effect on their teams as Palestra will for us and Suzuki will for Villa.
What have you got, Chris?
Well, I've got Yuri Tillemans.
Nice. We're all in sync.
I think he could go and transform Man United. I think he's that good.
Yeah, he's going to make that midfield even slower.
I think he's incredibly underrated, though. Like, I honestly think he's so good on the ball, and he was so important to Villa that I think Man United have got a bargain there, and I think he could quite easily be in the conversation for Team of the Year.
Yeah,
I like him because he's been good everywhere he's played. Like he was good at Leicester, and then he was good at Villa, and I think he'll be good at United as well. Realistically, as long as they don't make him defend.
Yeah. And then I've got Diamande at Forest.
Ooh.
Yeah, good choice. Really highly rated, highly touted.
Yeah, really highly rated, which is a little bit of a red flag. But I just think you look at Glasner's history with centre backs. He takes these centre backs and he elevates them. He did it with Guehi. He did it with Lacroix. Like he's took centre backs and he's made them into players that top teams want. And I think Diomande will be the next one along that line. I think he'll have this season at Forest and he'll start getting the links to us, obviously, because we get linked to everybody.
Of course.
Man United, Liverpool. I think he'll be that next player that does that.
That's
the
a really
wheels.
good shout, sorry, just really quickly, Mikey. That's a really good shout because, I mean, like, if he's as good as people say he is in terms of like his talent level, he might be the most talented of the three of those you've said.
The wheel went with Gonzalo Garcia at Fulham, who joined from Real Madrid, and Mamadou Sangare at Brentford.
That's a good choice from Lens. I actually think he's a good shout from Lens.
Worst signing.
Yeah, and they buy well. They do buy well. Brentford,
They do.
To be fair.
Worst signing. 2 picks. I went with Johan Manzambi at Villa. I like him. I do like him. I do. I do like
60
him.
million euros,
Price
you don't,
tag.
Mikey. My goodness.
That's it. That is the reason he's here. I think for 60 million euros, I think it's just too much. I don't see them getting that value for money this season. And I think that's when other people...
telling someone in like 2010 that you've bought a player from Freiburg for 60 million euros.
Well, funnily
Dear God.
enough,
Yeah, it's
what
crazy, innit?
about a player bought by a top six club from a French team for a similar fee? I've gone Jeremy Jacquet for Liverpool. Another high
good
fee
shout.
player who
I was
hasn't
gonna say,
proven himself.
That's a bold one, isn't it? You know, he's coming back from his injury.
Rash,
High
though,
risk. He's a high risk signing in an ever changing Liverpool back line. And I'd like to congratulate, by the way, both players on having outstanding seasons in spite of what I've just said. So congratulations, lads. But I remember when we had a little review into him and we were linked and the fees and everything. And I watched him and I thought, he's not ready. He could prove me wrong. I still haven't
Playing
seen
next
enough.
to Van Dijk will help that, though.
And Van Dijk is slower. He's not Thiago Silva. I don't buy this. Chris, who have you got? Who's letting you down?
This was hard to pick because I think there's been a lot of terrible signings in the Premier League this year. In fact, it was really hard to pick 2 good ones. I think the standard of the signings in the Premier League this year has been awful. I've got Brennan Johnson at Everton.
Oh,
how he's got another move, I don't know.
Well, it's a swap deal, isn't it?
Agree with that. I think he'll be an all right signing for them.
Nah, he's been shit everywhere.
You've swapped crap for crap, haven't you? I'm just saying. Yeah. They got Dwight McNeil out the door and brought in Brennan Johnson. It's just like, you know. I've got a broken down car.
So yeah, I think he'll be shit. And I've got Mateus Fernandes.
Yes, I love that.
Massive fee. And to be honest with you, I don't really see what he does. I don't know what sort of midfielder he is. He's not a defensive one. He's not a goal scoring one. He doesn't control tempo of games. He's just kind of there. And I think he looked all right in a really poor West Ham team. But that fee is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fullback, Chris. That is what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you got, Ollie?
Right. So, as people like to know, when I do my predictions every year, at least one of the players I like to pick before they've actually moved.
Oh no! Yeah, you were good at that. You were good at that last year, weren't you?
And so I've done it again this season for my first one. I've gone with Savinho. Whoever signs him, I'm really sorry because
Do you know what? I forgot about that.
80 million.
And it looks like. It looks like he's going to go to Spurs most likely, and I actually feel sorry for Spurs as a result of that because I mean that guy ever managed to sneak his way into Man City, I will never know.
It's almost like they own the club that they bought him from, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's like you know, like when people say we have Jeremy Doku at home. That's who Savinho is. And the other one is another winger. I guess I've just not been very impressed with my wingers this season. And I think this one's a bit controversial, is Zadok Johanna for Brighton.
Oh, right, okay.
He's been, you know, he's a kid who's been highly rated. He's coming in with actually quite a lot of expectation. And the thing is, there's a few things for me. So one is, he's coming to Brighton off of 13
senior top flight games in the Swedish league. Now, don't get me wrong.
It's not good, that.
Brighton buy well, usually. But I think that is not enough of a sample size. With all the data you could want from 13 games, I just don't think that's enough of a sample size to prove if he can make the step up to Premier League level quality. And the other thing is, Brighton have had a few of these players in the last couple of seasons where they buy someone for 20, 30 million quid, which is not a small amount of money for Brighton. And then they just disappear. They don't do anything, and they eventually get sold a couple years down the line for not a lot of money. I think, especially for a winger, you know, how you don't know he's going to match up with the physicality of the league. I think this is going to be a welcome to the Premier League signing for Brighton, and I think he's really going to struggle to prove his worth. Really, I have no doubt about his talent at all, but will he be able to show it this season? No.
The wheel.
I think. Can I just, before the
Please,
wheels gives its prediction, because I know someone's going to ask. The only reason Garnacho wasn't one of my picks is because he's on loan.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Not a real signing. Not a real signing.
You're really not a big fan of Villa's.
There's no jeopardy there.
Transfers, are you, Chris?
Mate, sold Morgan Rogers and replaced him with Garnacho. It's like selling a Lamborghini and getting a bike.
Well, you know, one's good for the environment, Chris. Come on.
It's a bike with a flat tire, isn't it?
It's got no wheels.
No. The player that the wheel went, it's gone. Fucking hell, one of these makes sense. It's gone Sandro Tonali from Newcastle Spurs. That makes sense. I understand that. Yeah. And then it went Leandro Trossard from Arsenal to Everton. I thought, for 17 million, unless Trossard commits a felony or attacks a teammate, how could that be the worst? What's he got to do?
Hang on. Whoa, hang on. Didn't Trossard go to Besiktas?
No, he's at Everton.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that.
You sure?
Oh. No, he's not.
No, I was going to say, I don't think he is.
Oh,
dear. I looked at Everton signings earlier and I didn't see him.
Where did that... Whoa. Oh, dear, the wheel's messed up here.
Fuck it, the wheel's terrible.
He's picked
you know
another
what?
team.
I agree. Trossard to Everton is a terrible signing. I don't think he'll play for them.
I don't even know.
I don't think he will
either. That's awkward. I don't know. The wheel's picked a player that's not moved to Everton.
No, that's perfect. We'll keep it.
The wheel.
Let's keep
the wheel can just have one player then.
Wow. Should we just give it? Aliano Garnacho? But no, because it could turn on us.
Yeah, why not?
It could turn on us. We don't want to do that.
No. Let's pick someone who's equivalent. A winger who went to Everton. Pick McNeil.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll let the wheel choose in a minute. I'll go back. Player of the year. It's usually a player from the Premier League winners. So I've got to. This is why I'm scared. The wheel went Declan Rice. It's picked them as the winners as well. Yeah. Remember? So, and I went Declan Rice. I've gone because
I've also gone with Declan Rice.
Yeah, it's like the Gravenberch shout when I said Netherlands were going to win the World Cup.
Yeah, fair.
If Arsenal win the league, it'll be him. It's so obvious.
I don't think Declan Rice is going to have a good year.
He's tired, isn't he?
Even when, I think Arsenal win the league, but I don't think it'll be down to Declan Rice like everyone was saying it was last year. To be fair, I don't think Declan Rice was the best player in the league last year and he won it. So, you know, it could be him again because we're just going through that period now. I've gone Szoboszlai at Liverpool. I think even if Liverpool won't win the league, the media do love Liverpool, and I think Szoboszlai is an unbelievable player. And I think if he has a good season and they finish second, I could see him getting it.
I tell you what, he'll be good under Raiola, playing centre mid, but also right back at times if they need to. Really aggressive. I like Szoboszlai.
Fair play. Young talent. Originally I had Brian Maggio at Villa, and that was before his goal in the Super Cup.
Shout.
I wrote this before then. And he had a great pre-season. That's why I kind of picked him when he was signed from Mets back in January. And then I thought, he could be a fun super sub, couldn't he? And then I thought, nah, fuck that. I've gone for someone else. There's a man who's at Coventry City who they've signed from Denmark. So that's always a win. From FC Nordisland. And I do rate him incredibly highly. He's a player who I I think he could have an outstanding season for Coventry. He got voted Young Player of the Year in the Danish Superliga, and it's Caleb Urinci. Yeah, I think Caleb Urinci. And I could see this guy just having a good season and then secure a move to a big club next summer, maybe a Bayern or a Dortmund. I think he's got such high potential.
Yeah, I like that.
Danish
him.
Club player.
I really like him because I know he's not Danish, but he came from Denmark, and that's enough for me. It's enough. Chris, who have you got?
I've got Esteval.
Oh, okay. He's still young.
Yeah, and I think we'll see the best of him this season in a more stable environment, better manager, better system that suits him better. Again, even though he's highly rated now, I think this could be his sort of explosion season.
I think the pressure's on Esteval a little bit. Because what happens if he doesn't do that?
Panic.
Then we start thinking that he might be the next Robinho, and we all move on.
Oh, we can wait for his one good season then.
Yeah.
There
you go.
I've gone with Majo, and I wrote this
play.
After the Super Cup because
nice.
because
I like the fact that you're honest.
Because he scored a goal against probably the best team in Europe, and he hit the post. He probably should have scored about 4. Let's be honest with you. He looks like a real handful. I could see him easily getting something like Young Player of the Season. Of course, he's landed with a splash, so he'll get more opportunities as well. I didn't want to pick someone like Max Daumann or someone who I knew was already kind of established from previous seasons. So I wanted to pick someone who was kind of going to be new to the league this season. And especially with looks like Ollie Watkins might be going out the door at Villa as well.
So he'll be starting at this rate.
Yeah, well, I mean, he at the very least is going to be coming off the bench for a decent amount of minutes, and physically, he looks ready. 6'4" at 17, fucking hell, you know.
You're not wrong. The wheel has gone for the English centre midfielder for Liverpool, Trey Nyoni, 19-year-old. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who he is. He is a real player because he was on a list of exciting players for this season. That's how the wheel picked. So, yeah, 2 to watch. The wheel went mad here, and I'm not going to reveal those yet. I put shitloads of players in. It's just great how it... Anyway. I've gone Gonzalo Garcia at Fulham and Ryan at Bournemouth.
Hang on. Why do you want to watch both of these players, Mikey?
I think they're going to surprise people. I think Gonzalo Garcia has the potential to be a standout. He could be a flamingo amongst pigeons. He stands out whilst everyone else is crap.
Yeah, or he could be a flamingo amongst fighter jets.
He could be, yeah, that could also happen. That's all I've got. I've got nothing else to add. He was all right at the Club World Cup, so I'm just going with that. And Ryan at Bournemouth, because Ryan was fun last season, and I think if he can take another step up, he gets a big move next summer. Because he's not going to stay, with respect, he isn't going to stay at Bournemouth all his career if he's going to have that level. Because he could be in the Brazil squad and be amongst that front three. He really good player. I mean, I think Liverpool were interested in him and they never made the move because of the fee. So, yeah. What you got, Chris?
I've got Caleb Urinci at Coventry, like you said.
Nice,
about
like
young
that.
Player. I think he's been touted as like a Michael Essien type, and I think that could be one of those signings that went to Coventry, does a year there, and then he's moving on for £80 million next summer, or with the way the market's going, 250 million. And then I've got Zolis at Arsenal.
Oh yes,
I do think it's easy to say, yeah, he had good numbers in Belgium, but that's not going to translate to the Premier League, and all of the odds would suggest that that's true.
Especially because he has been in the Premier League twice with Norwich and was relegated both times.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think maybe it was a player who was there too early and then he's gone away and come back a different player. He's been impressive for Arsenal in pre-season. He was good in the Community Shield. He's gone into a very stable environment and good team where I don't think there's any pressure on him in terms of people looking at him to drag Arsenal to results. He can just go play and be part of the system. And I think that could lead to him having actually a really good season, sort of an under the radar type season.
And he produces a great FPL team named Quantum of Solace. So,
Oh, that's very good.
What have you got, Ollie?
A vow of silence this season.
Oh, that's good.
I like it. What have you got, Ollie?
Right, so my two to watch. First one, I've got Giovanni Quenda. I
like that.
I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking, who are players that I'm really interested in just seeing what more of them and just seeing what they can do this season. Overwhelmingly, I just found myself returning to Quenda because he's a young player. He's going to be in the team for the first time this season. He's not going to play all the time, but when he does play, he's going to be either a winger or a wing back. He's going to be fresh on the ball. He's going to have new ideas. He was good in pre-season. Don't see why not. And my other one is actually Brennan Johnson at Everton. I know. Listen. Some people will disagree with me, but I actually think that yeah. I think there's a player in there for sure. What was it? Only like 1 or 2 seasons ago, he came off the back of scoring like 17 goals in the league for Spurs. This is not a player who does not know where the goal is. And at a team like Everton, he's going to be given the license to actually go and try and score those goals. Listen, it didn't happen for him at Palace for 100 different reasons, I'm sure. But I wonder if somewhere like Everton actually putting the goal scoring burden on him will actually give him some confidence, because Everton need goal scorers. They got, who have they got in their team and who have they got in who have they bought this summer? They got Tariq George, who looks good for them in pre-season, but I don't think is going to be able to carry them in terms of the goal scoring side of things. Who have they got up front? They got Beto and Concrete or whatever they are. And I don't think either of them are all that great, to be honest.
Well,
So the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the swap deal, right? That Palace did with Everton for McNeil going the other way, and I think Palace have gone absolutely mad for swapping McNeil. Because I think if this was 2 or 3 seasons, maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago, maybe I think you're probably saying that's probably a pretty good deal for Palace. But I don't know, not any longer. I think Johnson's a good player with a good chance of getting a lot of goals this season.
I want to point out that I put the first 11s into the wheel for this. First 11s from last season, and it picked out 2 players from over 200, and it chose 200 players. Remember, it chose Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. 200 odd players, and it chose Caicedo.
The wheel
and
is going to say it's finally going to click.
How did it happen? I did
crazy.
Not. Well, you Chelsea's MVP. I was going to say it's one of the most open it's ever been, because it could be. And then I sat down, had a think. I thought Marco Palestra and his lovely headband, they're right there. And then I just thought, Mike, don't be stupid. Don't overthink it.
No,
I've gone João Pedro. Pedro. Former bachelor Robert Sanchez is a close second, but I'm going to go João Pedro because I'm not stupid. Top scorer and MVP for us.
Wow.
Come on, Chris.
Well, I did have João Pedro until they changed his shirt number. And now I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Is it Danny Welbeck?
I cannot pick someone who has took that number 9 shirt, I'm afraid. So I've gone Levi Colwill.
Okay.
I think coming back in, if he stays fit, I think he'll have a really good season. I think the system suits him better. I think he'll enjoy playing next to another capable centre-half rather than who he has been playing next to. Yeah. I think he's going to have a really good season. I think if we're going to be anywhere near the top 4, I think he has to have a good season.
Yeah. What have you got, Ollie?
I've gone with Reece James.
That's what the wheel picked, and that's what scared me.
He's going to be a bit of a Swiss Army knife, I think, for Xabi this season. Whether he's playing on the right-hand side, bombing up and down, whether he's playing in midfield, whether he's playing at right centre back. I think he's going to be filling in where needed, but I think he's also going to be very good wherever he is. And I'm making a sort of a bonus prediction on top of this, that I think this is going to be the fittest and healthiest Reece James season since he first sort of started to struggle with his injury problem. So I'm predicting that he is not going to have an injury this season that keeps him out for longer than 2 weeks.
Okay.
He got injured in the World Cup, right?
Yeah. Got to remember that.
Yeah, it's all right.
The wheel said Reece. So
listen. We'll do sweepstakes in the Discord. How long that's going to last?
Yes,
right?
That's fair. We've got 3 to go now, and it's the first Premier League manager to go. I didn't overthink it. I went Sergei Yakirovich of Fulham. Fulham? Hull. He might be at Fulham. It could have happened, but it's at Hull because Hull overperformed their points per game under him last season. So I'm expecting him to be gone by October. I think they'll be lingering, cut adrift at the bottom of the Premier League table, and Hull will just go, bye, and he'll be off. What have you got, Chris?
It's hard not to pick the Hull manager because of how bad they're going to be, but I think their expectation is to go back down. So I think he'll get at least half the season, regardless of how bad they are. I've gone Arbeloa at Fulham.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, I'll add something to it. I've got Arbeloa, and I think it happens at the first international break.
Wow.
Oh, that's very early.
The double one. The double one. Wow. Big shout. What have you got, Ollie?
A pretty simple one for me. I've gone for Daniel Farke. Despite having bought well Leeds, I think they will be all right this season. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll start poorly. I think Farke will go probably before Christmas. I think they'll be languishing in the relegation zone at some point. And then they'll build themselves back out and have a bit of a resurgence in the second half of the season and do all right, and make the great escape.
Do you know what scared me? The wheel has been consistent with its picks. It chose Arsenal for the title and Rice as PFA Player of the Year. It chose Everton to be relegated, and it chose David Moyes to be first to go. Like I said, I was like, I don't believe.
It's not wild, that.
I was like, I don't like this. I don't know where this is coming from, but Champions League. I
just
winner.
don't know if he would go. Would he?
I don't know. The wheel said yes. So Champions League winner. I've gone PSG to three-peat. Torres will score to take PSG to their third Champions League final. Just feels right, doesn't it? Torres. Oh. And it's lazy. I've got nothing left. What have you got, Chris?
Real Madrid.
You know what's interesting? So did the wheel. It thinks Jose's going to deliver.
Jose
and so
back.
did I.
Real Madrid haven't won the Champions League for a few years.
Wow.
They've got that European pedigree. They don't have to be a good team to win the Champions League. Yeah, it's Real Madrid, mate.
I don't know if they'll win the Liga, but I think they'll win the Champions League.
Well, our final prediction, which is random. I'm going to stick with it, even though Chris is probably spot on with the Premier League title race. I've gone the Premier League title race and relegation battle goes down to the final day, and it'll be very open and exciting of the last decade. And then I thought, well, that's quite easy and lazy. So then I went one a little bit out there, but it's also, you'll hear it and go, well, I can see it happening. I predict that Gianni Infantino does not resign as FIFA president, and in fact he doubles down and he claims that UEFA are trying to take him down because he's reducing their power and helping the world of football, as football is more than just UEFA. And then we'll see the tide turn, and more countries will around the globe will then begin to support him, and we'll all be in the same position this time next year with him still in charge, and he's probably won his second term, his third, fourth term, whatever it is. That's my take. Yeah.
What a depressing prediction.
It is. I can't always have Carney Chukwuemeka talking about aliens and their existence, can I? Oh, Chris, what have you got?
So I've got two. First one is, I think all of the English teams will be out of the Champions League by the quarterfinals.
Wow.
I think the standard of our league is so poor. And I think we massively overrate how good our teams actually are. And then I've got a former player will take charge of a Premier League team that they played for.
I like that.
Did you have someone in mind when you said that?
No, not really. It just tends to be a club will sack someone and then they'll panic and they'll go, get someone who knows the club.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's face it. It could be Man United, couldn't it?
It could. Can I just say that I don't think it was ever said on the
Rooney.
show. Yeah, that's true. It was never said, but I feel like you should get some flowers for it. When you said about for the World Cup, a team sack their manager, and then it happened. You were
I
like,
was so annoyed about that.
That was class. It was such a shame. It obviously, yeah. Ollie, what have you got?
All right, I've decided I like doing the random predictions, so I've got 4 of them.
Fucking hell.
So the first one is Romeo Lavia is going to complete more full 90s than Moises Caicedo gets yellow cards this season.
Okay, I like that's different.
Which is it's a bold one because he hasn't done
9.
that yet. Yeah, that means he has to do 9.
Yeah,
but so far
true.
he's done about none. So
Yeah.
I originally had it the other way. I thought, maybe he gets Caicedo gets more yellows than Lavia plays 90s, but I thought that's likely to happen. So I didn't do that one. I've gone the number of penalties total that are awarded in the Premier League is going to be, the record for that is going to be broken this season. Especially because they're supposed to be getting tougher on the holding in the box and for corners and stuff. I reckon that'll lead to quite a lot of penalties.
That'll last 2 weeks.
I think
it will last 2 weeks, as it always does.
The most is in a season, I think it's a draw between something like 9-10 and 15-16 or something like that. It was 106. So it's a lot.
Damn,
but I think it'll be broken. And then I've got 2 fun ones. So the first one is, well, it's not fun for the people involved, I suppose. But the first one is a referee is going to get injured jogging over to the VAR screen.
Fucking hell.
Which
Nice.
I thought that would be a laugh. And then I've got last one, which if this happens, I'll be really happy. Anywhere in the football pyramid, in the English football pyramid this season, a match will be briefly stopped by a person parachuting onto the pitch.
Fucking
Wow.
Someone
That's crazy.
So, someone's had a skydive or whatever miles overhead, and they haven't, and the pitch is the best and safest place they've spotted to stop.
Fair enough.
Basically.
I would love it if that happened.
Well, yeah, that'd be world class.
But we gotta hope that happen. If that does happen, we see it on social media, because we're not going to be able to trawl through the entire football pyramid to look for it.
Well, there we go. There's our our season predictions for 26-27. That's locked away now in the vault. It will not come out and rear its head until the end of May, as always. And now we get to the first time of the season. We are having a quiet one. Match preview. We take on Fulham, first game of the season. Here is the scoop on the opponents. They currently sit 10th in the Premier League, thanks to the beauty of the alphabet, with no wins, no draws, and no defeats. Recent form, my word, no wins, no draws, and no defeats. Player spotlight. Gonzalo Garcia for me. I teased you in the predictions. I want to see if he can hit the ground running after his big move.
I want to see if he can hit the ball straight.
Well, he's gone from the capital of Spain to the capital of England. See how it goes. The last time Fulham beat Chelsea was on the 7th of January 2026. I'm so sorry to reveal that. Wouldn't be the preview if I didn't get to tell you again what the UK number 1 was, and it was Where Is My Husband by Ray. So I ask you, where is my Lion of the Week, and why is he taking so long to find me? I'm going in early. Don't worry, I've got Marco Palestra. He's been outstanding all pre-season. I'm backing my handsome man in the headband.
Go on, Chris, who do you want?
I need to update the spreadsheet as well.
It's really hard not to go with João Pedro, isn't it? But
just pick him then.
After everything you said.
Yeah, that is true, actually. He's got the number 9 on, so it is actually a risk this time. I'm going to pick João Pedro. And tell you what, I'll tell you this now. If he's shit against Fulham, I won't pick him the rest of the season.
Okay.
I might hold you to that.
I'm going to let the wheel do its thing.
I'm going to go with Cole Palmer. I don't know why. I'm just going to pick him.
Oh, wheel.
Jorgensen.
Emmanuel Omega. What are we doing, Will?
He's injured, so
Is he actually?
yeah, he is at the moment.
Who did you go with, Ollie?
I went with Cole Palmer. I said I don't really know why, but I'm going to pick him.
I didn't actually know Omega was still injured. I thought he was actually fit. Will, go
He
again.
might be in training, but I don't know. I don't think he's fit to play.
Swear if he starts. Oh, Will. No, Danny Welbeck.
No, to be fair, that's not a wild shout, because when the curse hits João Pedro and he can't hit a barn door for 6 paces, Danny Welbeck comes on, last minute winner, boom.
I've got a quick Blue versus Who. 3 questions on the opponents. The last time we played Fulham, we did lose, didn't we? We lost 2-1 at Cobham Cottage. Who scored for us?
Liam Delap.
Liam Delap. He scored a goal. In that same game, we were down to 10 men very early on. Standard. Who was sent off in that 22nd minute?
Gusto?
No, doesn't play for us anymore, if that helps.
No, it don't.
Kukurea.
Yeah, Kukurea. And finally, former Blues in order when they first signed for Fulham. I've got Schwarzer, Schmertin, Willian, Loftus-Cheek and Pearson.
Got to be Schmertin first, right?
2006, spot on. He's the bread in this sandwich.
Who's the other ones? Might have been Piazon after that, you know.
No, it's got to be
It's him or
Schwarzer.
Schwarzer.
Schwarzer joined Fulham in 2008. So yes.
Then surely it's Piazon,
Then
Loftus-Cheek.
Piazon. Yeah.
2016.
Then Loftus-Cheek, then William.
Spot on. Spot on. And I'll move to quickly before we go, do Quaresma questions because someone did send me this and I have to bring it up because if I don't, I'll be sad. This could have easily been part of doing Delap things because it's a fantastic question. Dockwater shared this clip to me from the United stand with Mark Goldbridge where Mark asked a question. So I'll just roll that VT before we go.
If you were to put a chocolate bar up your backside, what would it be? Oh, come on, mate. Lots of people are actually debating in the chat what chocolate bar they would stick up their arse, which I just find incredible. There's people saying M&M's, Twix. I mean, you don't have to get involved in conversations. It's not a necessity. Mars or Twist for me, says Marmed. What, to eat? Somebody just said they'd like to shove a whole selection box up their arse. That's Paul. Mate, you obviously really liked that question. Landon says, which chocolate is it going to be? Give the people what they want. I don't think the people really want to know what chocolate. And the question is why? Why would I be doing it? This is the United stand. It's not OnlyFans. Big Jammy says, George Michael used to love Careless Whispers. Luke 82 says, mine would be a picnic bar or a Toblerone. I can't believe how many people have taken to this topic. There's another one. Topic was another chocolate. You could literally say that. I can't believe. Anyway, they've been discontinued. Too many people were doing it, I think. Jarbar Drink says, we do want to know. Mine would be a flattened Bounty bar. Well, I would imagine a Bounty bar would just disintegrate on pressure. A Toblerone won't. That's going to be constant pain with every rib. What about a Galaxy Ripple? That would disintegrate and be easy work. Depends whether you want it to do that. Some people would probably like the bigger one. I choose a Hershey Kiss, says Clips. What about a Crunchy, says Short-Tempered Gamer? It would probably eventually dissolve. Mine would be a Curly Whirly, says Caleb. I can't believe the filth of this chat. Okay, says he'd use a chocolate orange. You'd have to break it into bits, surely. Not the whole lot. Absolutely has to be a flake, doesn't melt and veiny, says Roma. Got to be a finger of fudge, says Ruby. What the fuck is going on? I don't even know. I can't give you any commentary because I don't know. I can just see Leeds players kissing each other. I tell you what, that Toblerone up the arse sounds good now.
It's too good. It was worth it. It was worth it.
I'm crying. Oh, I love Mark Goldbridge, honestly.
It was too good.
That is brilliant.
It was.
The
listeners.
chocolate orange sent me. That was so funny.
It was too good. Man. Listeners, we're at the end of another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we go, don't forget. We're proud
Just
to
so you know, mine was a cream egg. That's why.
Oh God, no, no. Oh, I'm putting Caramax in my mouth. I don't want them up my arse. We're proudly partnered with Head in the Game, a mental health charity using football sport wellbeing community. Find out more at headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday with winners and losers because Fulham is Monday Night Football. Who's going to be the guest on Sky Sports? Ooh, who will it be? Could be Mark Goldbridge. So till then, that'll be us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.